Morning, boys and girls. How you doing? Just wanted to give a little bit of a tobacco review. I'm trying a tobacco that I've never had before that I got as part of a trade with Tim, Milverton 68. Cold block. Can't get it over here. It's a Virginia Burley mix. It reminds me, and I'm smoking in, of course, my Country Gentleman corn cob with a Walker Forever stem. It's called Pumpkin Spice if you like the color. I try out all new tobaccos in a cob because you really can't ghost a cob, or at least it's incredibly hard. Uh, that way you get the actual flavor of the tobacco as compared to whatever's whatever smells are ghosted onto your briar. Now, I'll have to admit, this reminds me somewhat of Half and Half, except better. Half and Half, uh, well, let's just say that Half and Half reminded me something that came out of the south side of a northbound horse, okay? um, this is mild and very, agreeable. As just a little bit of nuttiness and a very slight sweetness. This could easily be an all-day smoke. It's very nice. Burns well. Haven't had any troubles having to relight. That's good. I like it. Of course, my next step is to try what Tim did, and he sent me also some St. Bruno's, which I'll be trying shortly. And then I wanted to try each of those by themselves. And then once I do that, I'll mix them together the way Tim did. And try that. This seems to be a very, well, I am a faster puffer than a lot of people. So maybe it's me, but this seems to burn awfully fast. But I'm not getting a tongue bite from it, so that's not a problem. I'm watching Rounders, movie with Matt Damon about poker players. That's what got me into playing internet poker. A few years back, I was playing in a tournament that would get you into the World Series of Poker. It was with FullTiltPoker.com. You play, they group you together into groups of 1,800. You play down to last 9 players, and then those 9 players all get set aside till they have enough top 9 finishers to make another group of 1,800, and then those 1,800 play down till the last one standing, so to speak, or sitting. And then the winner of that go around gets sent to Las Vegas for the World Series of Poker. I was in the second grouping, having made it all the way through the first group of 1,800, and I was playing in the second group of 1,800, and we were down to 75 players left, and I had a huge, gigantic chip lead. I mean, there was no doubt in my mind that I was going to be, number 1 that night. I mean, I was just rolling over everybody. I could literally do no wrong that night. Everything was perfect. And then a thunderstorm came up. A really, really bad thunderstorm. And it burned down, it's all out. And it got to the point where it knocked out the electricity in my apartment and the surrounding neighborhood, and most of the town that I live in. And so the electricity went out, and naturally I lost my cable connection. And and I was so mad at that. I mean, I wanted to pick the computer up and throw it, throw it through a window. I like the smell of the St. Bruno's. You have to look this up. A distinctive blend of smooth Virginia and other fine leaf. I'll have to look it up to see what is in it besides the Virginia. So, long story short, I know, too late, right? I waited, it was like 3 hours, just hoping that the darn electricity would come back. And after 3 hours, the electricity did indeed come back, and I, as fast as I could, got back on the internet, because being disconnected in the middle of the game like that doesn't mean that you're out of the game. What it means I like that smell. I do. Okay, you. When in doubt, put a lighter. That's helpful. There we go. Should have tried it out, I guess. It is a little moist. There we go. Just trying to make sure it stays lit. So, having the electricity go out doesn't mean you get kicked out of the game. What happens is that when you're missing from the table, when you're not responsive, the game goes on, and you just get blinded. You uh, uh, every time the small blind and big blind come around to you, your chips automatically get put in by the computer for whatever the small and big blind happen to be. And so after 3 hours, the electricity finally came back on. And it was down to 45 players. In the 3 hours that I had been absent from the game, only 30 players had come out. But at that point, I was down to second to the last amount of chips at the table, or in the tournament, from being the #1 chip leader with a huge lead to second to the last amount of chips. And at this point in the game, I only had enough for roughly 2 hands. That's how big the stakes were at this point. Definitely should have dried this one out. But I was down to second to the last in chips, and I had enough for about 2 hands, and that was it. So the first hand, I don't remember what I got, but it was pretty much junk. So I just folded it, and I hoped for the best on the next hand. And the next hand, I got I think a pair of 9s, and I figured, considering I was pretty much going to be out of chips, I went all in on the pair of 9s and just hoped for the best. I didn't make it, and lost my place in the game, and I was so terribly mad at that point. I really came close to throwing that computer out the window. It just, I just couldn't express how the anger going from huge monster chip lead, and then a 3 hours away from the game because of a lightning storm, and then losing. Oh, but just watching Rounders and just watching the movie made me think of that. I felt like sharing. So anyway, you have a good day, and till next time, may all your roads be smooth, chicken house is closed, and may the pipes never run empty.